This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So what I want to do today is really go into the ability to snatch quick gains out of the market using a fairly simple approach. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to use MACD and ADX in this sequence, but it's not necessary if we're highly focused on what's going on with the 20 RSI. We can play off that pullbacks on the 5 RSI to look for specific setups for trades, short-term trades, not necessarily big moves, but swing trades. And I like to do these off of a daily chart so I don't have to go down to an intraday time frame. So I wanted to give you an example of this and making sure you understand what is taking place in the moving average environment that allows us to take these trades. All right. If we don't have this, we don't have the moving averages in place, we don't have the RSI in place, then we don't do the trade. But if we have these two things together, sort of forming a confluence of events, then we can take advantage of it. And this is something that happens on a fairly regular basis that I think you can take advantage of when we have a trending position in a stock. So let's go ahead and get going with this. Now, if you want to learn more about some of these techniques, the RSI you're going to need to do in through the courses. All right, it's not really in the book yet. I did not include that in the book because I wanted to focus in on the 2 time frame setup. But if you want to learn about MACD and ADX and how to use them in multiple time frames, the book is a great place to start. You can click the link in the description to find out more. If you enjoy this content, please hit that like button and also subscribe. All right, so I'm just looking at a chart of MU. All right, I've got my 18 and 40 moving averages, simple moving averages. I've got the 20 RSI in red and the 5 RSI in gray. All right, now what we're focusing on here is we're trying to identify a stock that's making higher highs. So it's making higher highs and higher lows. All right. It can be making lower highs and lower lows. Either way, we want to make sure we've got a trend in place based on the price action. All right. We also want to make sure we've got the 18 and the 40 both rising, and we want them to rise at about the same rate. I don't really want it. I don't want a situation where we've got the 18 kind of rising and it's forming, like an alligator mouth opening up, where it's separating a little too much. We don't really want that. We're looking more for, now this is rising slightly faster, but not to the degree that is concerning. So we can take this pullback. All right, this is a pullback that we can play once the RSI 5 closes below the 50 level and the RSI 20 stays above. Now, there's a couple things we need to understand. We have to have the RSI 20 above the 50 level for this signal to take place. All right, that's one thing. But we also want it to be no divergences. All right, and once we get above 70, we got to be very conscious of divergence taking place. So if you notice on this first move, we make a strong move to the upside and we have convergence. The RSI confirms the move to the upside before we pull back. We get the RSI 5 to close below the 5 level, and then we look for a pivot low to enter off the trade. All right. At that point, there's a whole host of ways that you can manage the trade. However, and what you can do is use 2 ATRs as your initial stop. All right. Or you could just put the stop below, a little bit below the low of the pullback. Because this is a swing trade, what you would be looking for is to snatch quick gains. So if you get a big explosive move like this, you get a big gap up and big run, you definitely want to be taking profits. I would consider taking at least half on a big up day like this. All right. You get a huge move in a swing trade, you want to take advantage of it. And then from there, you could use a couple of different things. Like if you gap up in a swing trade like this, you want to be taking more profits. You could even take the whole thing on this on this gap up bar here. After you get a gap and run like this, you take half off. You maybe take the balance here, or you start trailing in a very tight way and wait for a prior bar's low to be taken out. You'd have been stopped out on this gap down, right? You could also use a 2-bar low instead of a single bar low. So you wait for the 2-bar drop. So, once this bar closes, then we'd be here. Once this bar closes, then we'd be here. Once this bar closes, then we're here. So the moment this comes down, it would have opened up and stopped us out here either way. But there's a couple of different ways you can manage a swing trade, kind of up to you. What's nice about it is we don't have to go down to an intraday time frame if we don't want. So this is the main reason why I'm bringing up this specific strategy. Is if you want to do it on a single time frame, you can do that. You don't have to go down to the next lower time frame to do it. But we need a couple things to be in place. So as I mentioned, we need to have the moving averages confirming a trend, but not in a violent way, like a drastic way. All right, so that's one thing. The second thing is we can't have divergence. So if you notice what happened, we pull back, we make this new high. Now at this peak, the RSI 20 is not making a new high. It's making a lower high, and it's above 70. So we don't really want to take. So this next pullback, you could have made money, I guess, potentially, even though with all the gaps in the movement and the volatility, I guess you could have made money in this, but we are not playing this pullback. Even though the moving averages were still okay at this point, we had divergence in the RSI, so it is a no trade, okay? Same thing holds true on this one here. We get this pullback here, and we get another RSI buy, but it happens after another divergence, okay? So we are not taking that trade either. Now, you wouldn't have been able to enter. You'd have to enter on this gap up, so there was no trade at that point. But let's just look at a few other examples. So if we looked at something like Morgan Stanley, we get this pullback here. The moving averages are rising, almost identical parallel line fashion, all right? We had a move to the upside that was confirmed by the RSI 20, and then we get the pullback where the RSI closes below the 50 mark, RSI 20 stays above, and then again we get the pivot low. Now, as we start to move up, you gap up here, you're right at that prior high, you're probably wanting to take some off, and then again you can trail using a number of different ways, but then if you get another gap up like this, after a pretty good gain to the upside, I mean, we've made a pretty good move to the upside, and we get a pretty sizable gap up. It's another area where you could just consider taking the entire profit in that trade. Remember, we're trying to make a swing trade, and you're looking at it somewhere in the area of couple days to a couple weeks. And when you start to look at it in those terms, you're talking about, in terms of trading days, it's not that much, right? So if you get a gap up in a swing trade, you kind of want to be taking advantage of it. We always want to sell strength if we get it in a swing trade rather than being stopped out. It's preferable to sell strength in a swing trade than to be stopped out. I just want to repeat myself there. We also can do this on the short side. You can see we get the moving averages working to the downside. And then we have a RSI sell signal. Now, here's a problem. The trigger on this move would be way down here. I would not want to take that if there's a big drop like that, right? We don't really want to mess around when we get when we don't get really good entry. We still want to be using it for looking for good entry. Look at something like the AWM, and this is on the short side with what gold's been doing. Look at the moving average environment declining. They're certainly not too far apart. They're moving down at about the same rate, and we get an RSI sell signal. Now, we make the pivot. So let me just explain. Closing below the high bar. The low of the high bar would have been right here, and then the following day you had a gap and a move in your favor. Now again, this initial gap you might not do, but as we work our way closer down to this area, you want to be definitely be taking at least half off of this trade, right? And then again, you could either trail, or if you get another gap like this, you could be taking the balance off. Again, we're trying to snatch quick gains, understanding that when we play in a swing trading environment, we are looking to take advantage of moves in our favor. If we get a big green bar or a big red bar or a big gap, we want to be taking profits off of that. All right. So, you want to be on the lookout for these type of patterns. If we look at something like Cisco, this was interesting because we had a breakout pattern where we're basically breaking out, and then we get this little pullback that gives us the RSI buy signal. We hadn't even reached 70, but we did confirm the move, right? We make a new move in price. We're making higher highs. Let me just clear this off. We're making higher highs and higher lows in price, and we get our pullback. Look at the moving averages, perfectly aligned, and they're about balanced. We go here, we get our pivot low, and then we're looking to make a move. We get a gap up here. We're looking to take profits on that, at least half on this gap up day, right? And then, then you get a gap down, and then, as it starts to turn up, even after this second bar here, I'd probably be putting the stop here. I'd certainly be at a break even after I hit this bar here, right? In other words, after I take profits in this, I could still be trailing using the two ATRs, but once we have a bad bar like this, if we start to emerge back above it, we definitely want to come back below here, right? So in other words, what we're trying to do is protect gains as much as possible. And then again, if we get a big green bar like this, it wasn't a huge gap, but you get a big green bar, you're looking to take profits here. I know that it went up and then it gapped up and all that, but we want to take advantage of big green bars when you're swing trading. If you get a big green bar in your favor, you want to be taking profits. If you get a big gap up in your favor, you want to be taking profits. So use that to your advantage when you're making these types of trades, and you can do them in both directions. As long as you have the moving average environment suggesting one thing, right, suggesting a direction, and then we get the RSI signals exactly as I suggested between the 50, at least above the 50 mark for the RSI 20, and then no divergences. Once you get a divergence in place like we did here, we got a divergence in the RSI 20. This did not make a higher high here on this move. We are not playing this pullback, all right? So use that. Look for these patterns and see if you, and start out with small risk, right? Take 0.25%. And you can do this with options if you'd rather, right? Instead of waiting for and doing it based on the price action, you could do that based on the shares. You can do it based on the options. And again, play it for, quick trades in your favor, right? Play it for, and if you're going to do an option, you can do about 3 weeks out. That's about all you'd need, because you're going to try and get in and out over the course of the next week or so, right? Maybe a little bit more. Most of the time, it's going to be in and out in less than a week. You're looking for gap ups in your favor, big green bars, look for exhaustion moves, and then look to exit. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.